In fact, doon sa opening paragraph ng petition na yun, nakasulat doon, ito ay sulat, ang term pangalangon, langon ulama. Langon is a Maranao word which means lahat or all, no? All. Sulat ito ng lahat ng mga imam, lahat ng mga ulama at mga datu from Lanao. Pinaka-content nito is, number 1 is yung the preservation of Islam. Na kung magkakaroon ng constitutional convention, kung magkakaroon ng independence, masali sila sa Philippine government, dapat guaranteed na preserve at saka protected ang Islam. Ang religion meron sila.
Muslims throughout the world generally have tended to look at their history as a process tending towards justice, provided men make the effort to work for it. But more than this, there is the widespread belief that the historical process is not solely the result of man's intentions and actions, but there is also the merciful and compassionate deity who is involved in the direction of such a process. Thus, concomitant with the belief that life on earth is a severe moral test, there is always the hope that living the Islamic way of life makes it more purposive and tends to bring about a social situation where justice and good life become operative.
Anyone who reverses the narrative is following that Western narrative. Discovery of the Philippines. No, we should begin from where we are. I don't even buy this thesis that where were we? We were both non-Muslims and non-Christians. We were pagans. No, it's not a kind of narrative that is established for the identity of people. It's a kind of narrative that undermines the foundations of our belief. What is there, like the Sultanate, what is there, like the institutions of Islam, is a product of growth, of progress, of evolution, of many, many years of interacting, both for Christianity and for Islam. So, it cannot be very simplistic, black and white. But the foundations have to be laid. The foundations, that's why I always refer to context. Hindi po mahirap yan. Maintindihan po ng ordinary person. Itong kasaysayan, salaysay na continuing, ay maaring mapuna ng common tao.
Because of all this, it becomes understandable why Muslims in the Philippines believe that the coming of Islam to the Philippines, and hence their being Muslims, constitutes an instance of Allah's mercy and graciousness. Also understandable is the belief that their bitter wars against the Spaniards and Americans, their resistance to any form of European colonial design or foreign economic exploitation, and even their internecine quarrels and the chronic epidemics that have visited them, have served to maintain their integrity as an Islamic community.
Huwag po kayo sana mahulog doon sa konsepto na aalisin ng religion kasi yan ang cause ng pag-aaway natin. Instead, let it stand like Islam. Unto you, your religion, and to mine, my religion.
Insofar as they are aware of belonging to a definite religious community, Muslims in the Philippines have always made an effort to understand their past and have never ceased to recall those men who, on account of personal traits, character, and leadership, in spite of the determined efforts of their antagonists to deprive them of their religion, land, and knowledge of their ancient past. A careful analysis of the history of the Muslims in the Philippines will reveal that the character and attitudes of present-day Muslims are not only the result of what they have made out of themselves, but also of what others have forced them to become. Thus, it is important to know how Islam was introduced and how it expanded in the Philippines. We need to know also those forces which came into conflict with Islam, forces which helped to shape the character of the present-day Muslim in the Philippines.
The inner feelings still believe that they are different cultural community from the mainstream Filipino community.
We may have gone to school already. We may be officials under the Philippine government, but the aspirations of our people, the government will have to respect what we are. Will have to understand where we are coming from. That we are not a bad people. Actually, civilization in this country started from us. And there was a Muslim principality in Tondo, in Cavite, and it came from us. You have the people of the Philippines will have to go back and accept that this country came from the first political entity in the Sulu archipelago that was Muslim.
The colorful epic and unfolding historical saga of Islam will tell us that we, both Muslims and non-Muslims, can come to terms to achieve peace and harmony in the Philippines. Tolerance and mutual respect is the key to this effort. Assalamualaikum.
Ingago amin danau asyakudem bapimbata syakudem ba inuyak ni inan dosi ama yakudun namba matan negara sai sumbadakul kapitabunan sarido nukunteran nu agama Gatanu dangku pamun iminatai dan sikaka kami bunuh sekanin kukunteran nu agama diku mambu tantangan tamana diku makatindeg sumada kelaga umis ku ingego amin danau mangudatanu manininde ku agama magitung mamikil sakagapian umadakel mamagayun ayon tau kukuntelanu agama kasyatanu bagkapya nakanu kapamagayon ayon tau ingagku amin danau asyakudem bapimbata syakudem ba inuyag ninan dosiama Yakuden namba matan negara sai sumadakul kapitabunan sarido nukunteran nu agama di kumambu tantangan tamana di kumakatindeg sumada kelaga umis ku ingegu amin danau Gatanu dangko pamun iminatai dan sikaka kami bunuh sekanin kukunteran nu agama kukunteran nu agama